the finals. Thank you for joining us. It was a long day with a 5-rounder cut to, well, long for us, obviously. Got a small scene here, but it was 5 rounds cut to top 8. We have made it to the last 2 players, both of which play Life from the Loam. Go frigging figure, because the Hongdae meta is just lousy with Loamies. Top seed should still be Hyeok. I believe he's in first as of this top 8. So when we finish Garam's mulligans, we'll see what Hyeok leads on. I'm not completely sold on the argument that people make that lands mulligans really well, because every time I see them mulligan to 6 or 5, the odds of them leaning on explore gamble becomes really, really low, and they don't really refill their hand until they've got a Life from the Loam going. So it feels like every single match I win against lands is a mull to 6 or 5, and then they lead like Grove Go, something completely innocuous. But Hyeok doesn't have a fast hand here. I also think even if he has the opportunity for like a turn 2 Chalice on 1, he won't have any interest in doing so. Turning off Gamble and Exploration is good, I guess, but the odds of him untapping and playing a land without an Exploration in field is pretty low. Okay, so this 6-card hand so far looks quite nice. We'll see if he just plays Life from the Loam targeting Maze of Ith pass, or no play. Okay. Chalice for 1 does seem a little attractive, I guess. I gotta say, Dark Confidant is unlikely to survive. Maybe turn 2 Sylvan Library is what I would hope for here. But we're at the whim of what we draw when we're playing a base green deck. So it sort of depends on what he opened the hand to see. Crack, crack. Got the first damage in the matchup. And I think we all know that the life totals in this don't matter for the right side of the table, because when he loses the game, he's likely going to go from 15 to 0, from 19 to 0, whatever. And refusing to go with 2 basics here is interesting. I feel like if I was going to crack 2 fetches and then cast Life from the Loam, I would have grabbed just basics. And wait. Garam is thinking here about the Life from the Loam, which only means one thing. He wants to know his targets, and that makes me feel like he's going to rotate into a Bajuka Bog here to try to keep from getting too far behind. There's only one real window here. I mean, if he doesn't care about his Grove, then I guess... Wow, he tapped his Mox Diamond, absolutely refusing to give Hyeok a life. I'm not sure what 18 to 19 matters, but I mean, it's a Dark Confidant deck. I guess we play Punishing Fire, so that's very smart of Garam there. Never give your opponent 1 life. Garam untaps, wastes the Savannah, setting his opponent extremely far back, and will play maybe 1 out of his 2 Vortexes for the main. But he does not have Loam online, so the Vortex isn't all that scary. It does represent a threat towards Liliana or any of the little creatures that Hyeok wants to deploy. This is looking like a pretty tough game, although the Lance player doesn't have anything very good going on, so it's not like we have to concede if we're in the Loam position. And starting next turn, if he decides to Loam, he can go ahead and cast it after the dredge. Decides not to dredge. The Wasteland will be sort of countered by a crop rotation here, just extracting a little bit more value. And now he'll start assembling the Merit Lage combo. His mana is extremely tight, though. I mean, look at that. He's only got one colored source out, and one multicolored source and one black. But we had it all along. So I think it's Liliana or bust here. Never mind. That naturally drawn Caracas is that's beautiful. Do you just give him a shrug? I wonder if he made eye contact or not. I think you do. I think you stare directly at their face. He didn't even bother to try to shuffle it into his hand. He just played the Caracas off the top, tapped it, shrugged at him. So Garam is extremely far behind now because he didn't have Loam this game. So those two lands are just blown out. I mean, it's not like Hyeok has any threats out, but I would recommend dredging here. I mean, I don't know why we keep drawing. Why is he doing it? He knows the deck better than I do, but it seems like we want to be dredging. Your opponent doesn't have Loam, so why aren't we getting ahead in a lot of lands? I mean, maybe he still has a lot of land drops to make out of his hand, but shouldn't we just start wasting him? Garam has already gone through 2 crop rotations. He's down to 1 card and he has no source of repeated Vortex fodder. If we Loam a lot and then draw a Knight, then it'll be out of Vortex range. Okay, so Garam digs a little bit. If he found a land, he can take care of the Lily. Yep. And that exchange wasn't bad for him at all. I think that was Dark Depths for Hyeok. And it was. I don't know why the Dryad Arbor has to get in. I guess it's not like we're animating it. He's always vulnerable to Vortex. Oh, and that is a brutal Decay. Garam is really going to struggle to find any color or anything to do here with no colored sources. And the threat of Life from the Loam bringing back Wasteland if and when he finds a land that Hyeok doesn't like seeing. And you know, if we hadn't attacked with Dryad Arbor, we could have used the mana to thaw Dark Depths. Dark Depths thawing naturally may not seem great, but it is faster than attacking with Dryad Arbor. So he's gonna go for a Deathrite Shaman here. Even in the face of the Vortex. I'm not a pro with the deck, but it seems like if we had gotten one more mana source, or if we had been loaming, we could have just Green Suns for Knight of the Reliquary, gotten a depths and a stage together. Best buddies for life. Wow. Okay, so he found both of his main deck vortexes. Neither of them are getting anything done. I guess a life from the loam off the top is something that can really get him out of this. He could play he could target 3 lands, play Grove, activate Vortex twice, kill a Dryad Arbor, kill a Deathrite Shaman. Find some way to destroy our own Bajuka Bog, loam it, play it again to make the knight really small, vortex it. Or, you know, beside the point, we could just draw a little bit of air and a Knight of the Reliquary would kill us. I think Garam is ready to pack it in here. He's going to die. Still not loaming. Still not thawing the depths. His natural draws seem pretty good, though. And now he's just playing with his food. Garam is completely squeezed from all sides here, because he can't really... At this point, he couldn't beat even Deathrite Shaman. Then he can't really beat Knight of the Reliquary, and on top of that, he can't really beat Caracas. So here's a last-second gamble. I wonder... I think you have to gamble for a way to deal with Merit Lage, which is what will kill you on the next turn. Oh, actually, you know what? I saw this play. I saw this play. I won't pretend I've got the next level plays. Yeah, he gambled for Caracas, and because he discarded it, he was not able to play it, and that would be game. I have to be honest. I mean, even if he grabbed the Caracas, put it into play, and was prepared to bounce a Merit Lage, that knight was actually just going to destroy him. It had to have been in the neighborhood of a 7/7. And even though Hyeok is really patient, he doesn't really like to attack with knights. I mean, he would have started the next turn. Players are keeping, and Garam is leading off with a lone Wasteland. Wouldn't it be sick to just play Wasteland into this? I'd almost dare him to do it. Just, I don't know. Why don't we just play with nothing on the table? Why don't we just play like real men, man? Yeah. So, Forest, Green Suns for 0. I don't know. If he wants to Wasteland a Dryad Arbor, that's okay with me. Okay, so he had the Mox, and I feel like I disagree with Chalice still being in the deck post-board, but that's neither here nor there. So now, Gamble and Exploration. are completely shut off. And Hyeok is set back on mana a little bit by the port plan. I guess I'm keeping in mind that maybe the port plan will work, but I was going to say that Hyeok has to be well aware of Garam's apparent mana troubles, because he has 3 lands in play and 0 color sources. Of course, this could all be moot, because, I mean, when he untaps and plays Dark Depths, scoop, right? Oh, he has it. That's a scoop. He's gonna let him draw, yeah. There's no he's not gonna port him. So Garam takes a 4-turn game. His opponent didn't even require him to try to kill him. He didn't even feel the need. And he's quite a good sport. He's always cordial and laughing, even when he's getting absolutely crushed by a flying spaghetti monster of 20, and it's gross. And he kept a 1-lander and he got ported for 2 turns. I can't honestly say that when I'm getting ported, I am laughing. It doesn't really happen. Maybe he's laughing because, you know, he knows that he kept a pretty poor hand and he's going to go on the play again. And it seems like he's like keeping all of his hands today. That's wonderful for him. Here it is. This is the last possible game of the finals. And indeed the last possible game of the day. It looks like we'll lead with maybe, I think it's going to be Dryad Arbor, but I was going to say Forest. And one of these guys is going to go home with the foil Emrakul, and the other one will get the foil Wasteland. The intro of the intro to the tournament was only 15k, so 15k, that's about $13 if you didn't know. So pretty reasonable entry fee. Most of us degenerates just paying with all of our store credit that we have hoarded up anyway. I'm wondering if Hyeok cast the Chalice on 0 knowing that he had taken his boxes out. I don't think that he ever takes them out, but maybe he knew that he was on the play and he just happened to have 0 boxes in his hand, so that's just what he wanted to do. I wonder if we'll see any locked in his hand later, because he can't really control if he draws them. And he did nail a Mox. I just saw Garam shuffle past him. Molten Vortex appears. As soon as next turn he can start nailing. I don't know, I guess the first target, enemy number 1, is Dryad Arbor. Never mind. So he protects the Bob by getting rid of the red source. And we'll see how many lands Garam kept. It seems like he's been pretty land light these games. He hasn't really flooded the board with them as much as we expect. I guess we really, really want a red source, so we're gonna go for a rotation that won't get very much value. I think, is it gonna be Taiga? He shuffled past Taiga. He searches for Foothills and then Taiga? Okay, so yeah, that's a play pattern that you'll see from people who play life decks. It's quite smart. Let's just get as many lands into the graveyard as possible. It thins our deck and it makes all of our loams better. We lose our red source again, and then Dryad Arbor starts feeling risky. And with an exploration out, we make 0 land drops and pass the turn. And our Hyeok draws Wasteland for the turn, but does not reveal it. I would reveal it. I sort of want to play it. He's gonna show it. So this is a backbreaker of a turn. He reveals the Wasteland and then starts Lily on her way up. And it's going to be a hard battle for Garam to come back from this position. Crop rotating himself, missing on lands, getting wasted twice, getting embarrassingly smashed in the face by Dryad Arbor, and now Liliana is getting out of range. Discards, is that Nissa Vital Force? I can't say that I know the text on that card. I think it's a good card, but I don't know what it does. Garam has now bricked on lands so many times that I can't believe that he hasn't flipped the table over yet. Drawing quickly, shuffling quickly, passing the turn slowly. Why are we slow rolling each other? This game is... maybe it just feels so painful to me that I think that I want it over with. So I think he dredges a library and a Bolrath Stronghold and a Savannah. Goes to Loam again. I believe targets are likely going to be Savannah, Stronghold. But in response, I think, because he's taken an action that he's he has taken an action that keeps himself from ultimating Liliana immediately. So Garam takes an opportunity to exile his graveyard. I sort of thought like he was going to take that moment on the stack to activate Vortex and keep Liliana under 6, but I think my first inclination is actually just to ult Lily, but since we don't have a real clock, maybe it's unnecessary. Maybe the +1 is the best. Waste your thing before we ultimate? We going crazy here. Using up all the cards in our hand before Lily ticks out here. Draws Windswept Heath. Attacks with a Dryad Arbor. I gotta say, Hyeok, you're being loose with your Liliana here. Don't pass priority in your main phase without activating your Planeswalker, man. There's no need to do that. Although I will completely concede the point that it doesn't matter because we can't lose this game. Sorry about the noise here. I don't know why everyone was clapping, I believe, for a side game. Which means, was nobody paying attention to the absolute finals? Actually, I wasn't paying attention to the finals. I didn't see this happen in real time. I got knocked out in 7th place. My friends got knocked out in 8th place. And we just all around didn't do all that great. If my camera wasn't here on the desk, I would have actually gone home somewhere by now. Garam is at 0 cards, so there's no worry of him killing your Liliana if you go to the ult. But I mean, we're not really making inroads on killing Garam here. From Hyeok's position, he's doing almost nothing. But Garam is almost completely incidentally locked out by his own draws and the fact that he didn't find life from him in this game. He's only drawing 1 card a turn. I don't think the exploration doesn't matter. But this is just about as good of a split as he can make. He's close to ending this game with no permanence. Almost a disgusting, perfect victory here. Hard cast? Is that a hard cast? Very macabre? Okay, that's a 2-turn clock. And Garam scoops it up Inhyuk is going to take down the Rolling Dice Legacy Day. So congratulations to Inhyuk, our winner and reigning champion.